Board of Directors of Sugar Mills Homeowners Association is hereby open. Mr. Secretary.
The signs have been posted with the appropriate duration. And we have 4 members of the board present, so a quorum is established and the business can be conducted.
Okay, let's just go down the agenda. I'd like to formally announce that Louis Goff, our president for the last 10 months, formally resigned last Wednesday to our attorney. He has resigned his position as president as well as his position on the board of directors. So that's item 1 on the agenda. Anybody who is familiar with Louis or knows him, please, if you wish, give him a hearty thank you on behalf of yourself and us, and wish him well on his endeavors. Item 2, would you like to make a motion, sir?
Yes. Item 2, which is to appoint Robert Tompkins as who's presently vice president, to president for the remainder of the term, and I so motion.
We need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion is carried.
Good question, when's that term on now?
October.
Term is October.
October.
Okay, item C, I would like to make a motion that Larry Martin, who is currently secretary, become vice president for the remainder of the term, which expires in October of 2016. I need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Who seconded? What is
Yes,
it?
seconded by
Thank you,
Robert.
thank you.
Aye.
All in
Aye.
favor? Aye.
Motion is unanimous. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Okay. At this point, we're going to put a motion out for a vote of the board to table the filling of Louis's empty position on the board until our March 24th meeting. The reason being is we want some time to get candidates to come forward who want to serve on the board, who feel they're up to serving on the board, have the time necessary to do this job, and are willing to do it for nothing. We don't think there's enough time to start that process tonight as far as voting or even looking at candidates. So I need a motion to table replacing Louis Goff's board member position.
I so motion.
Need a second? Sister Whitaker seconded it.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, item E is the reading of the minutes. We had a closed board meeting 2 weeks ago tomorrow, on the 16th of February,
The attorney.
with our attorney at the library that was halfway to Sarasota. I don't know where the address was. I will read the minutes of that meeting. The closed meeting of the Board of Directors of the Sugar Mill Lakes Homeowners Association, Incorporated, a Florida corporation not-for-profit, was held at the South Manatee Library, Bradenton, Florida, on February 16th, 2016 at 6:00 p.m. The meeting was called to order by Louis Goff, President. Board members in attendance were Kristen Steffen, Robert Whitaker, Robert Tompkins, and Larry Martin. Also in attendance was the association attorney, David Myers. The new business that night, a discussion was led by Kristen Steffen to proceed with Advanced Management Incorporated, a community management services company, to negotiate and execute an agreement for management of community services on behalf of Sugar Mill Lakes Homeowners Association, Incorporated. It is agreed by all the board of directors that CNS has failed, our current property management company, has failed to cure deficiencies within their organization after several of the board members have met with the owner and through repeated written and verbal communications of such deficiencies to staff as well. It is apparent to the citizens in the community and the board of directors that it is time to make a change in management companies in hopes that it will be better for the community as a whole. A motion was duly made and seconded by Larry, and all were in favor that should all terms be met for the agreement to be executed, that the effective date would begin 30 days after the association attorney sent its written notice to CNS. A discussion was led by Kristen Steffen that the contract value of said agreement with Advanced Management Incorporated would not exceed $25,500. If I may digress a moment from the actual minutes, that is the exact amount in our current budget for what we would have paid CNS.
How much?
$25,500. A motion was duly made and seconded by Larry, and all were in favor that the contract value would not exceed $25,500 for an executed agreement with Advanced Management Incorporated for management of community services. A discussion was led by all that should negotiations be successful and a contract be executed with Advanced Management Incorporated, then a letter will be written by the association attorney to terminate management services with CNS in accordance with the terms of their contract with Sugar Mill Lakes Homeowners Association Incorporated. A motion was duly made and Larry seconded. All were in favor that the association attorney would draft the letter on behalf of the board of directors to CNS with a 30-day termination in writing. Once notified by the board of directors, it is agreed that time is of the essence for all parties involved. The meeting adjourned at 6:52 p.m. So, we are here tonight to make that information
We need to approve those minutes.
oh, I'm sorry.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Robert?
I second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Now may I digress?
Continue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're here tonight to let you all know that we have sent the letter. It was sent out certified mail by our attorney, David Myers, last Friday. We are terminating the contract with CNS for all the reasons you heard here, plus all the reasons we've heard from you for the last 4 to 6 months. We are going to tonight approve a contract with AMI, Advanced Management Incorporated. That contract has been negotiated. It is for no more than our budget allows for having paid to CNS, and in all likelihood it will be less. In return for that, we're going to get a property management company with a website that really works. Okay? We will also be getting a property management company with a dedicated 2 people, okay, that will handle sugar mills. A licensed CAM, certified manager, and a backup person in the office to answer the phone 7 days a week. So you're going to get a live body, you're not going to get voicemail, and you will probably, I hope, get an answer when you call in. You're not going to have to wait. You're going to also have a website that's going to provide you anything you want virtually. You can get your ARC forms if you want to do something to change your property. You can get copies of your violations that are out. If you have a violation, you can go see what the status of that is. If you've gotten a violation letter, it's all going to be on their website. It's much better than what we've had. And we're looking forward to getting the kind of service that we expected we would get from CNS in the first place. G, okay. I need a motion from the board to award Sugar Mill Lakes property management contract to Advanced Management Incorporated effective April 1st, 2016.
I make that motion.
Mr. Whitaker?
Second.
Mr. Whitaker seconded.
Okay.
All in favor?
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes. Motion carries, however.
Okay, we have one item left. We have a motion to approve contracts for the repair, which in this case is resurfacing the tennis court, and the drainage around the tennis court so that we won't have problems with the asphalt again, and the fence that completely surrounds the tennis court, which if you've been by it lately, looks pretty tacky. Okay? We discussed this contract in the board meeting, the last formal board meeting we had here. I need a motion from the board to award that contract.
I'll make a motion. There's two contracts involved with Lawson Tennis Courts. Total amount is roughly $9,660. No, yeah. Yeah, and then the drainage portion, which is another $2,800 roughly to Arrow Fence, which is, total amount is $12,270. This is approximately $3,000 underneath our budget. Which I think we came out fairly well. We kind of missed our rough budget figure for the drainage system, because that's basically on the design, whichever you come up with. And we had several proposals, which range from a low of $3,200, $3,400 really, to almost $5,000. Three different designs. We took the lowest design because that also happened to be the one that quoted by Lawson. So we think we're covered for a new looking tennis court. So I recommend we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Question.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
The last meeting we had, what was the final decision on the basketball post inside the tennis courts there? Is that going to remain, or?
Yes.
Well, he's talking about on the tennis court. You can't leave the basketball court. Tennis court.
We ever agreed we were going to change anything later.
You can't leave tennis court, basketball.
I don't recall a final decision being made. It kind of got skipped over. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is if you're going to have a tennis court, have a tennis court. If you're going to have a basketball court, you're going to have problems with your fence, the kids tearing it up, and the tennis court.
To be honest with you, we haven't really looked in detail about the basketball situation. We are going to take a look at it to see what we can do to incorporate it in that area. But to be honest with you, right now, we don't have it addressed.
I mean, my suggestion would be keep the tennis court separate, fence around the tennis court, and put the basketball thing somewhere around the parking lot. They can bounce their balls over there.
That's a logical step. But we just haven't looked at it yet.
Okay.
The only mitigating, that's an excellent suggestion. The only mitigating factor that I would put forth on that is, unlike the tennis court, there's no fence. If that ball goes in the pond,
So be it. They can fish it now.
well, we just as soon not have people in the pond. Okay.
I'll fish it out. Yeah, with kids, I live over by there, trust me, that's why the fence is in the condition.
I know.
They tear it up, they go over there at night, they tear it up. It's been bad.
Well, I think, as I said, I think we need to take a look at it and see if there's a way we can incorporate it with a reasonable cost.
Can it be moved on, just moved
Yeah,
onto
you can
the
always-
asphalt?
I would be in favor if we can somehow move it to the parking lot.
Yeah.
That's a better place for it.
We just need to look at it. We haven't addressed it, so what are our options to do it? So
Let's see if we can move it. I think that's a great suggestion. Can we,
You wanna-
can we vote tonight for the approval, finish that off, and then look to see how much it would cost to move and
I
table
think-
that for the March 24th meeting?
I think that's an excellent idea.
make a
Is
motion.
there, you want to make a motion, Kristen, or?
Okay, I need a second.
Okay.
So maybe you all can make a motion.
No, that's a good point. We just haven't really taken a look at it. We've been really devoted to trying to incorporate the repairs to the infrastructure that we have already in place.
Have you talked to Lawson?
Not about that.
Who's the contact with Lawson?
Two people I know to talk to, so.
Okay. Then I guess my motion would be, we approve the contract for Lawson for resurfacing the tennis court. Lawson,
Let's do two motions.
okay.
Let's approve the fencing around the tennis court and the drainage and the tennis court app resurfacing. Let's approve that and get that away, and then let's address the basketball separately.
Okay.
Okay?
I think we had a motion.
I think we did. Let's just finish it. Larry motioned, I seconded, all in favor.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Now, let's address the basketball court.
I would make a motion that we table actually giving the contracts out until after the March 24th meeting, during what the 3 weeks between now and March 24th. We will communicate with
We can communicate with Lawson and whoever else we can come up with.
with contractors that we would need to get information from on how much it would cost to move the hoop away from the tennis courts and place it somewhere on the asphalt for the parking lot. Would that satisfy you? I think, thank you for the suggestion. We quite honestly, we missed it. So, need a second?
We're probably just going to, they're not gonna do the tennis court any good and well, anyway.
Well, that's why.
That's right, you can't have.
But we need to find out how much it's gonna cost us,
Right.
okay? And we need to not start any work until, I think we need to not start any work on the tennis court or the fence until we've resolved where it's gonna be moved.
I agree.
Okay, so I think, did anybody second my motion?
I think we did, yeah, we voted on it.
Okay,
Oh, no.
It's the
We're
time
doing this
that-
separately, folks. Okay, let's try it again. So we're tabling the contracts actually moving forward that we just approved until we can discuss the basketball hoop, possibly feasibility-wise moving to the parking area. So that is going to move to the March 24th meeting, am I correct?
right.
Okay, so I need a motion on that, please. Any one of you to motion that you're in favor of that?
I
Or second my motion?
would be happy to second what you just verbalized.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I don't know how many people have read the last item on the agenda, but one of the reasons why AMI looked as good to us as they did is they use the same bank we use, so your coupon books are still good. They use BB&T, just like CNS did. All we have, there will be no great trouble or expense involved in changing the bank account title from CNS to AMI. And best of all, for everybody out there, we don't have to generate 240 plus new coupon books. The coupons you have are going to continue to work. Okay? Now, nobody's signed up for questions, but we can keep them to 3 minutes and keep them to what's on the agenda. I would entertain questions. Yes, sir. She's not a sir. Your hand was up first.
I have a question on the item that says remainder of term. What is the term of the president, vice president?
The term of this entire board of directors was 18 months. From
18 months?
18 months from April of 2015.
Thank you.
We had said that before. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my husband asked me to ask, he says, we understand there's I can't even say it, indemnification provision in the contract. He wants to know what that means. Does it mean that if the board would happen to make a mistake, and they get bad advice or something, that you cannot be sued? Can the boards be sued under the provisions of the indemnification?
What agreement are you referring to? The
Your new
AMI
your new
agreement?
contract with the new,
Oh, you were talking about, that's an indemnification for all members of the board, to keep the board from being sued individually. That our insurance company would protect the board members
okay, so,
from suit.
and he wants to know if a provision like that is standard?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay. And is the board council recommending that you sign the contract with that provision in it? Which I would say that that's probably a yes. He wanted to know if there's anything that the HOA can do to help save money?
We did it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Can the management company or the board obtain the old HOA records to include the financial records for the HOA from the prior developers?
We've tried.
We have tried.
It's
No.
been an ongoing,
Understand that when the private developer, he
Very
ran the
easy.
HOA. So he doesn't have to give you anything.
what we've gotten has and so incomplete.
You know, our concern is the reserves, you know, obviously.
Sure.
You know, he's
Well,
just trying
if
to,
if you've reviewed our latest budget, we addressed the reserves in the latest budget.
he wanted to know also if we could get a copy of your new contract, and if we could get a copy of that budget. Is it possible for us to get copies of those?
Sure.
He wants to help, you know, whatever we can do to help.
Sure.
I have an information sheet here. If you'd like to be on the board, we could sure use that help.
Yeah, I took an application,
Okay.
yeah, he
Thank
does. He's an attorney, he's had lots of prior board experience, you know, and he wants to help. We're retired, we've got the time to help, so,
Okay.
you know, he couldn't be here tonight, but
Thank you.
We need people to be involved here for this to work, okay? I've said that before, I'm a broken record, you'll probably hear me say it every other board meeting. We need people to be involved here, we need people on committees, we still don't have a pond committee, okay? Almost half the lots in Sugar Mills are houses on ponds. I don't understand why 110, 120 houses on a pond, why nobody wants to step forward and serve on the pond committee to help keep the ponds the way they are. Okay? We're gonna be, as an HOA, as a board, we're gonna be as successful as the level of participation, involvement, and cooperation. Not necessarily in that order, that we get from our homeowners.
And Ken and I are both willing to help on that pond committee, but obviously the two of us can't do it alone.
No, I know.
But-
I'm not singling
Yeah.
you out for any criticism.
Right,
I'm
no, I
trying
didn't
to
take it that way.
appeal to everybody to get involved,
Yeah.
because this is our place, this is where we live, people, okay? And at least half of us, you know, live on a pond. I know there's a commitment of time, but
And we don't live on a pond, but we are willing to be on that committee.
Well, that's very important. You know, we try to get at least 3 members on every committee, okay? We'd like to have more, but we need at least 3. So you wouldn't be working alone, but we need somebody to turn in some applications so we can drum up some business, as the saying goes, and get a 3-member committee appointed. I have a next door neighbor I'm working on as well for that same thing, but, and it doesn't have to be somebody that is here 100% of the time, because with using the emails and so forth, a lot of the information can be transferred back and forth, regardless of wherever you're at. The main thing, I think, in this regard is somebody needs to do research, okay?
And my
To
husband's
determine
good at that.
what we need to do to ensure that our ponds don't deteriorate.
there's a couple more items that I want to make public information. CNS probably got that letter today. If not, they'll get it tomorrow. They are still our property management company between now and the end of March. So if you have questions or concerns, they need to go to them. They're still getting paid, okay? And I'm sorry, but I'm all about, if we're gonna pay for some service, I expect to get service. Maybe it won't be any better than the lack of service we've gotten for the last 11 months, but they're still getting their full pay until the end of March. So we can't, AMI cannot take over here until April 1. So we have 30 more days of putting up with CNS. But if you have a question that needs to be directed to them, please, they're getting a full paycheck. Yes, Jeff?
In the event that AMI turns out to be no better than CNS, is there also a 30-day clause going to be in that contract with them?
Yes,
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
absolutely. Okay, yes.
Do you anticipate that they will be able to provide training for the committees regarding appropriate process, what's acceptable process for the violations in the ARC committee?
I do. I also think that we'll have, they've told us that they will have a, I apologize, I'm not feeling real well. They will have a, internal system called Smart Webs to help manage, the finding as well as the architectural review, which was one of the things that we were going to have to pay for separately with CNS. And this system can be used as an app or it can be used on a computer, so you can use it from your smartphone as well. But there will be a full training on that. There'll be a full training on that, Pam, as well. So I think that that was one of the things that they wanted to assure us would be there. So it's to be seen.
I kind of brushed across it quickly before. One of the primary motivations was they are much more technologically advanced. Their webpage is much more user-friendly. It's designed to be the place that everybody who has access to a computer can go to and get virtually any. Wow.
Goodness gracious.
You know, one copy or two.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Where was I? It's designed to answer virtually any question that you could possibly have right on their webpage. So,
That's what we need.
thank you. It's one of the reasons we made this switch and chose them. But the people on the committees, Jeff, you on the EARC, or I'm sorry, your finding or violations. You can monitor where your violations are, exactly what process, what step you're in, when the hearing's scheduled, it's all gonna be there. ARC, you can monitor what's been turned in and exactly where it is. Everybody out there, as far as I know, okay, you're gonna be able to access the budget. You can access the budget anytime you wanna print it off. It will be available on their website, okay? I'm not even so sure the most recent financial, okay, you know, as far as where we are exactly, won't be available as soon as it's out. So virtually everything you could want to know or any question you might have between their webpage, their website, and the person who will be manning a phone there, who's dedicated to answering questions. I'm looking forward to much better communications, which is half the battle, okay? And much better customer service to our constituents. We're going to get some bang for our buck, in simple terms. And I think that's something I have every reason to believe we're going to get a whole lot more bang for our buck and probably less buck than we were paying before. Now, we need to talk about.
I think we need to just talk about the Architecture Review Committee board, because one of the members has indicated that he doesn't have the time to commit to the Architectural Review Committee due to new job duties. And that includes, I believe, someone that lives in his household and affects her being able to participate as well. So that leaves us with one standing member, which I believe she's very dedicated, and I appreciate her help very much. But I can't ask her to approve architectural review items by herself. So temporarily, we will need to seek perhaps to take the Architectural Review Committee back, and then seek out applications for the Architectural Review Committee to fill essentially what is 1+ seats for the Architectural Review Committee, and route those through the existing member to make sure we have a cohesive group. That would be my recommendation. So not only are we looking for a secretary position, but I think we need to fill the Architectural Review Committee and include the member that is existing in that filling of that position, those positions. That would be my recommendation.
Can I just note
I'm just
that
going to ask you if you're okay with that.
Steve still is a member though, Steve Riker.
Okay,
So there are two people,
there's two.
There's two of the original, what, 4?
3. Well, no, there was 4.
Yeah,
But you're right, 2 people can't vote.
okay.
Because you need somebody
Are
to
you
break that.
okay with us
Oh,
being
What,
the second or third chair?
you have my support, and whatever you need to do to keep the residents
Satisfy your
served.
Okay, so what I would say is we need a motion to temporarily take back the Architectural Review Committee and seek applications. And in the same fashion that we're doing for the secretary position. And then I think we need to route those and include the existing members so we ensure we have cohesiveness with the group. That would be my recommendation.
May I so vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Great,
Aye.
thank you.
Okay, we're done. Are there, yes,
I
sir?
got just one comment. That last paragraph, that there will be no change in the books and so on and so forth. Might we address the fact that all of us don't use those books? In other words, the few of us that prefer to pay our dues all at once, throw those books away every year. And every time I throw it away, I think,